G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here, first dog on the moon.
Way from 10. Patriots, welcome to First Dog on the Moon's Guide to Modern Living. I'm Walkley Award-winning cartoonist for The Guardian, First Dog on the Moon. This week, the Commission of Audit report was released into the community. No ankle monitor or house arrest. It doesn't have to report to its local cop shop every 72 hours, just straight out onto the streets where it can wander slowly, menacingly past schools, hospitals, aged care facilities, homeless shelters and childcare centres. Perhaps the Commission of Audit report is shambling and drooling down your street right now, dragging its leathery bulk over the gutter and slithering across your lawn. Pull the curtains, get the dog inside. What was that noise over the back fence last night? Have you looked in your shed this morning? Don't go in there alone. What is Tony thinking? This document describes quite a different Australia to the one we live in. It's certainly not the Australia all of you people voted for when you made Tony Emperor for life. You were really voting for an Australia where the ALP isn't run by self-obsessed incompetence, and good luck with that, because that's not what we got. We got a government that built a commission of audit out of the bones of people below the poverty line and the blood of kittens, and they set it free to roam the highways, byways and darkest alleyways of the nation. Surely, after the report was released, someone in the PM&C must have wondered, did we say that out loud? Of course, none of the Commission of Audit report is going in this year's budget. Oh, they wish it was going in this year's budget. It is just that, a wish list, an ideological roadmap. Perhaps they've tipped their hand a little bit early, though. They're confusing what they need to do with what they want to do. Put down the feather duster and the handcuffs, Minister. Get back to work. Uncle Joe Hockey will come out on budget night and deliver a budget that contains, maybe, something with the flavour, but none of the actual guts of the Commission of Audit. The way chicken salt doesn't have any actual chicken. The budget emergency and the Commission of Audit aren't about economics. They're just a cover so the government can hack the bejesus out of, well, the sectors of the community they really hate. Really, really hate. You know who they are. It's not Walkley Award-winning cartoonists or even anyone else here at the ABC. Don't you worry about that. I'm going to be fine. Not the age of entitlement that's over. Entitlement's doing a roaring trade. It's going to be made a night. Sir, entitlement of Kirribilli. What Uncle Joe didn't tell you is that it's the age of niceness that we're done with. And of course those terrible wind turbines. It's so offensive. So what will we see in the budget? Well, it's tough times and everyone has to do the heavy lifting, which is why we're getting rid of the mining tax and buying $24 billion worth of planes. Oh, and if anyone wants to drop in for lunch, it's $11,000 for a ham salad sandwich. This budget will announce that they're combining unemployment with the old age pension. So you can't claim the dole until you're 70, and you can only claim it if you own your own home. But it's not means tested, so that is nice. You won't be able to go to the doctor until you're 70, and childcare will only be available to pensioners, so it's hardly going to cost a thing. People with disabilities will just need to hang on for a little longer. And let's face it, you're used to it by now. What's a few more years going to matter? In fact, why don't you wait until you're 70 as well? Less money for the homeless, more money for nannies. It's funny, but it's not a joke. It's true. So how has the ALP responded to this neoliberal free kick? The leader of the opposition, Bald Stetson, no. Bilby Stool. Oh, what is it again? Bolt Sterling. It's on the tip of my tongue. Bib Flatten. Oh, Belt Fasten, that's the guy. No, I think. Anyway, here's what Paul Shutting said about the Commission of Audit. He said, this is crazy dumb. And in case you missed it, I'll say that again. This is crazy dumb. That is what Bjorn Flatulent said. So it looks like we're on our own. Until next time. And if I was Audit Commissioner Amanda Vanstone, I'd say, arrivederci. But I'm not. This has been First Dog on the Moon's Guide to Modern Living, proudly brought to you by the First Dog on the Moon Institute. And Dog will be back.
Well, there you have it. The interesting part of the story is, dear listener, the Independent Commission Against Corruption is just at the moment having a field day discovering vast amounts of corruption among the New South Wales Liberal Party. And at the moment we have a prime muppet in the lodge in Canberra, the Prime Minister of Australia, Tony the budgie smuggling wingnut Abbott, who comes from New South Wales Liberal Party heartland. That's where his seat is, in the blue ribbon belt of Sydney. And so far everybody out of the Liberal side of politics who's been knocked off by the New South Wales Independent Commission Against Corruption, Arthur Sinodinos, Barry O'Farrell, Police Commissioner Gallagher, they all are, close mates of Tony Abbott. Political mates, Liberal Party mates, fundraising mates, win election mates. And before they toddled off to ICAC, he sent them along with his recommendation and his reference saying what wonderful people they were. And he was sure they were all going to go there and give evidence as a witness and come home with their honour intact. But that isn't quite actually what's happened. Basically, we're learning that although Eddie Obeid was a filthy, corrupt Labor Party politician, it only stands to reason that if you're going to be a businessman wanting to corrupt a politician, you'd go to the Liberal politicians because their interests are already aligned more closely with that of big business, and thus you won't have to pay them as much. It'll be easier to corrupt them, and therefore there's apparently been many more corrupt Liberal Party politicians than there have been corrupt Labor Party politicians. But, ICAC and political history will be the judge of that. In the meantime, yep, the Committee of the Audit and the Budget is designed to shave $60 billion off because, straight after he got elected, Joe the Crock of Shit Hockey announced that he was increasing Australia's debt by $68 billion. So the debt crisis that he contrived to manufacture is now being used as an excuse to form a committee of big business lobbying agents, and they've been told, go out there and figure out what you can cut on the left-wing greeny social welfare net side of the budget that'll allow us to spend $12 billion buying 58, not 48, 58 brand new F-35 joint Stark farters. The supersonic stealth vertical takeoff and landing cosmic wet dream of the United States Air Force, which is the aeronautical equivalent of a camel is a horse designed by a committee. And Australia's we already had 14 of them on the order books. Now we've decided we want to buy a grand total of 72 of them. It's going to cost, total all up to buy them and run them until 2050, it's going to cost $24 billion in a country that's going to shave the old age pension by 17% and make it harder for anybody who's actually hurt to get a disability support pension. Okay, yep, right, and we also got to build 12 submarines at $12 billion just because the last time Australia built submarines they weren't fit to paddle around the bloody bathtub in. That's why nobody wants to be in the submarine corps. It's why they haven't got enough crew for one out of the 6 submarines that they've got allegedly operational. Oh, yeah, right, okay. So the big news of the week is that the budgie smuggling wingnut was planning on going over to Jakarta and hobnobbing with the outgoing president, Bangbang who used to be very pro-Australian, but he's about to get replaced in the next election because he can't stand again by any one of a string of anti-Australian leaders of the various parties. And just as Tony was going to go over and prove that all is forgiven after us spying on the president's wife, it was found there was an on-water operation where we were somewhere between the Ashmore Reef and Java being nasty to the asylum seekers. So Tony didn't dare to go there. That's been the week in Australia. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.